Hi, welcome back to the Blue Moon Garden. It's been a very long break, a winter break, and now spring is back. There will be several videos to show you what spring looks like here. We're in Zone 7B in Normandy, France. And in this video, you'll see what happened from end of February until mid-April. Enjoy.
I've been chasing beauty and painted gold, but I found the real me in clouds of smoke. And I had a revelation, I should really have more patience. But then I look at the time and I notice I'm behind.
In my garden, spring starts with bulbs. All the bold tulips, the fragrant hyacinths, the frilly daffodils. All our senses are suddenly overwhelmed in the most beautiful way. But it didn't give it all straight away. We've had to watch for the early signs. I know it's spring when Iris Reticulata popped the first blue and purple splashes in the garden as early as February. When the first bumblebees thank me for planting early bloomers. When any ray of sun urges me out to do the jobs that will make this heaven as welcoming as possible. When I consider dipping my toes in the chilly river that runs in our garden. And by our, I also mean to include all the cute visitors that seem equally happy to, at last, welcome spring. Daffodils take a huge part in my early spring display, and I love to watch them grow their promising buds. The first daffodil to bloom is called February Gold, and though it only blooms in March, the name isn't lying about its golden color that pairs beautifully with the young foliage of spireas and ninebarks. I packed 2 of my flower beds with daffodils. On one side I put all the yellow and whites, on the other side are the pinky salmon ones. This frilly girl is named Replete and is quite a showstopper if you're into the fancy kind of daffodils. She blooms approximately at the same time as her 2 fellow salmon daffodils, Apricot Whirl and British Gamble. When I bought the bulbs online, I thought British Gamble was the least impressive of the 3, but this guy grew on me. First, because it pairs equally well with white, apricot or yellow daffs, since it carries all 3 colors. And then because it looks fresh for the longest time. Despite carrying a huge flower, its stems hold well even in bad weather. Quite the opposite can be said about its yellow neighbor, Sailorman, that looks fantastic but has such a heavy flower, wind or rain will easily break its stem. Unless you stake it maybe, which I failed to do. But I must admit it might be worth the trouble because this golden guy is loaded with an incredible number of petal layers. Ice King could be considered Sailorman's white counterpart in that it's equally frilly and definitely too heavy for its stem. It will bend and even break, but there is something special about the way it changes color. It sometimes appears to be white, sometimes yellow and white. Whatever the color, it's always spectacular and brings sophistication to the border. I wouldn't say Popeye is my favorite, but it's a bicolor daffodil which yellow cup unfurls progressively in an interesting way, displaying frilly petticoats when mature. Now for fancy peachy flower lovers, Apricot Whirl is quite irresistible, and I couldn't believe how thick this pink tutu was when it first bloomed. Next one on the list is as beautiful and lasts even longer in the garden. This is Mallee. At first sight, you could confuse it with the previous one, but Mallee's heart has a gradient from yellow to white and peach. She ages and weathers really well, her colors fading to papery tones. I ordered a daffodil called Flower Surprise, but when it bloomed I discovered a very different variety. This one is probably Tahiti. I do like it, but I still hope I can get the right one next fall. Let's now talk about multi-headed daffodils, because it's really nice to get more flowers on a single stem, right? Cheerfulness really deserves her name, not just for the beauty of her blooms or the number of flowers on each stem, but also for her beautiful scent. Her and her sister Yellow Cheerfulness are the most scented daffs in my garden, and if fragrance is anything to you, do not skip on this intoxicating pair. Silver Chimes is a cute white daffodil with simple and beautiful looks. And now, the daintiest daff in my garden is also one of the earliest. It blooms in early March and carries a multitude of tiny gorgeous flowers. This is Avalanche. If you want to extend the Narcissi blooming season, you may want to install this very original little guy with its funny color pattern, Pipit. It will hold its fresh looks for a long time and bring a bit of airiness to the larger varieties. But there's more to spring bulbs than just daffodils, and I couldn't do without the fantastic perfume of hyacinths. On their first year, they're loaded with fragrant little bells, and although they don't come back as full the following years, I still like them, as they remind me of the bluebells I used to find in the woods when I was a kid. They bloom in the sweetest colors, and are the quintessence of early spring. Spring bulbs offer an incredible array of blue flowers. For a complementary color scheme, I like to pair them with yellow or chartreuse foliage such as Heuchera citronelle. It really makes the blues pop. Muscari armeniacum is as cute as it's reliable and blooms for weeks in my garden, whether in sun or part shade.
This is one of the most stunning partnerships that I know for blue and red at this time of the year. This is an anemone and this is a Muscari. I'll put the names down below, but any kind of cultivar, red anemone there aren't many, but a blue Muscari there are several, can really create this vibration that is so beautiful about these two colors together.
In my zone, I don't have to dig them up. They showed to be hardier than what I was told and come back reliably. Besides these two red and white anemone varieties, the blue Mr Fokker is very useful in the garden. It brings out the colors of the daffodils. In fact, it looks great with anything. Plus, it blooms for the longest time. Its foliage is very attractive, and even the seed heads are funny and look like candy floss. How could we talk about spring bulbs and not mention tulips? They are the candies of spring and can achieve any kind of design. I confess I love the girly and sweet compositions with Negrita, classic and reliable. Design impression, opening with the most interesting buds. Menton, so elegant and tall. Merlot, rich and deliciously colored. Or Columbus, with its water lily shape. But I also enjoy the quietly elegant designs achieved with white or lavender tulips such as Exotic Emperor and Purissima, so clean and strong. Or the dreamy Jacuzzi, my new favorite for this year, and a great match for the voracious, crunchy Cummins with her exotic looks. Despite what the internet says about healthy and reblooming varieties, my best bet is to mostly plant tulips in containers because in my very humid region on wet clay soil, tulips tend to rot or get diseases. I still put a few bulbs here and there in my borders, but containers are safer for my climate. Plus, this allows me to arrange new compositions every year and discover new varieties to fall in love with. That's really one special thing about gardens. You can fall in love with a new plant every day, yet never hurt anyone's feelings.
creeping through my window as I close my eyes. Fall back into bed, it was a long night, and I can't find a word to say. Emotion running from my tongue like a bird is running from a gun. It was a long night, and I can't find a word to say.